What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Dave Cave. I, as always, am Dave. So today we're talking Velvet Buzzsaw. This movie is directed by Dan Gilroy, which reunites him back with Jake Gyllenhaal from Nightcrawler. I still need to see that. Really wanted to see that, so that'll probably be in the near future following this crazy-ass movie. But he also did, I found out, Kong, Skull Island, and Real Steel, which I really enjoyed both of those movies. And this movie is in no way, shape, or form like those movies, in a good way. Also in this movie is Rene Russo, you got John Malkovich, and Toni Collette. And this movie is very interesting to me because you go and it starts very unassuming. It does not start like any kind of horror thriller movie at all. There's a very, seems almost intentional feel of just kind of setting you at ease. It plays basically as in modern art movie about, you got critics, you got exhibitionists, you got artists, you got all the different movers and shakers in the modern art world. And it just goes and you get kind of where everybody fits in this world, how they interact, how they know each other. You get a good little base of that. And then what this movie is about are these paintings that are found by this guy named Vetral Dees and what their impact has on this world. And the impact these paintings have on this world are insanely catastrophic. And what was so interesting about this movie is I don't know anything about modern art. I go to the museum sometimes, look at stuff, but I don't know, I'm not, one of these people. So it was nice to be in a little bit different world. So that kind of throws you off a little bit. But then once it starts to go back into our realm, into the realm of horror and thriller, that was nice to kind of be back there. But then because this revolves around paintings, really nowhere is safe because all these people are surrounded by art. And it's not just paintings. Everything is fair game in this movie. And that's perfect. You need to not be settled. You need to be leery of everything. Because that's what ends up happening to people as they start to be just freaking out about everything. I'm not going to go into how or who or what, aside from what I've said, because I want everybody that can to see this unfold for themselves. This movie is extremely well acted by all parties involved. Everybody brings their A game to this movie. I don't think there was one performance in this movie that I thought was weak. Everybody hits it. The visuals are crazy. The atmosphere is very well done, very kind of, at some points, and sometimes very beautiful. Very, very beautiful. There's a couple establishing shots where you're just like, holy shit. Wow, okay, we're back into the story. Shit. All right, let's go. Now, another thing I really liked about this movie is once it goes, it has a very good flow to it, and it goes from one point into the story to another point in the story. The transitions are smooth, and it just goes very well. It's not choppy at all. You never wonder where you are. It's very clear how it goes, and it goes, and it goes, and it goes. I know that I say that a lot for a lot of movies, but once this movie goes, it goes, and you're just very much along for the ride. Like I said before, all the actors, especially the main guns, the main four I mentioned, they all crush it. And Jake Gyllenhaal, I love watching him be a weird-ass, not creepy, but weird-ass eccentric dude. He does that very well, which is another reason why I want to see Nightcrawler, because he seems just batshit insane in that movie. But I really like him. I like a lot of stuff he's in. Curious to see how he does as Mysterio. But we're not talking that right now. In terms of it being a horror movie, I wouldn't really say that it is. There are horrific aspects to it, but to me it felt much more like a thriller, and some people might call thrillers horror movies. I don't. It seems to be a very distinct differentiation between the both of them. And like I said, while horrific stuff happens, which is I think how they label this a horror movie, I wouldn't have labeled this a horror movie. It's a thriller, and sometimes shit gets twisted really bad. But it's not horrific. There were a couple scenes I had solid tension. Other scenes you're just sitting there waiting for it to happen because you know it's going to happen. You know things are not going to go well. Now, while I've said that the movie was well done and that it was well put together and it was very well acted, I don't think it was a movie for me. I enjoyed what they gave me in terms of, story and visual and all that, but I don't think I need to see it again. But I can see where a lot of people are going to love this movie. I really do. So while I don't plan on seeing it ever again, I would say when it's all said and done, that anybody that has any kind of interest in this movie should watch it for themselves and see where they fall on it. I can see where a lot of people think this is the dumbest movie ever, and I can see where a lot of people say this is the best movie of 2019 so far. I know we're only a month in, but I can see where some people can just absolutely love this movie. There's a lot to really, really like about it. It just, like I said, wasn't for me. So that is going to wrap up, ultimately, my review of this movie. Before we get out of here, I do want to talk a couple spoilers. So if you haven't seen this movie, I do want you to go away. Unfortunately, I hate to send anybody away from any of my videos, but go away, go watch this movie, bookmark this, save this for later, come back to this, and then we'll talk some more when you come back to the spoilers. I'll see you later. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, spoiler talk. Let's go. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is the title of this movie. I understand that Rene Russo's character is Velvet Buzzsaw, but what I also thought was very interesting is that they have a meta moment when you find out that she is the Velvet Buzzsaw, where she has it sounded cool, but that's it. That's exactly why this movie is called Velvet Buzzsaw. It doesn't matter at all to the story. There is a person called Velvet Buzzsaw, but it doesn't revolve around her. But it revolves around this world and the paintings by Vetril Dees. This movie should have been called that. Vetril Dees. Or just Dees. And people would have been confused because it doesn't really seem like anything. And then go from there because this is his story. And with that, I like that they didn't really explain his story. You understand that he's a tortured soul. He paints with blood. It's pretty messed up, but you don't know how these paintings got this ability to defend itself against being monetized and being distributed. I know it was his last wish to have them all destroyed. I don't know why you would paint all these paintings that have all this power to them and then want them destroyed. He was destroying them himself. I would be curious to find out if there was anything deleted to where we find out a little bit more as to his story with the paintings. Did he curse them? Are they innately cursed because he's twisted, and then the tests they did on him and him painting with blood, does that just make a perfect storm of these paintings are going to cause art to kill people? I don't know. Yeah, ultimately, like I said, it's worth a watch. It's worth seeing because, like I said, some people are probably really going to love this movie. Not Dave. Okay, so that is the end of my review. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to hit that like and the subscribe button because we always got more coming in the Dave Cave. Before we get going, random recommendation of the day. Skittles. It's a half bag of tropical and wild berry. They're delicious. I eat candy with movies. I don't eat popcorn. I know, it's sacrilegious, but I don't. Alright, so go get a bag of those. Go watch Velvet Buzzsaw. Come back here and let's talk about this movie because I'm very curious to see where everybody falls on it. Till then, thank you so much for stopping by the Dave Cave. Take care.